We know everything, thanks.
And you know nothing. It's a shame you're not a woman anymore. She'd have understood.
We've got all that power, but there is a way to get rid of it. Something a male-presenting Time Lord will never understand.
Just let it go.
And we choose to let it go.
That is one big pile of shit.
Ladies and gentlemen, history is not going to look back on this time and be kind. Because we have allowed these cultural defamers, these vandals, to come along and absolutely obliterate some of the most incredible pieces of entertainment that the world has ever seen. We have allowed it to happen. We have allowed these people, due to their own hubris and their own ego and their own delusion and their own need for validation, to come in and basically graffiti their bullshit all over these giants that have stood around for 60 plus years. We have allowed them to do this to Star Trek, to Star Wars. They've done it to just about everything. Terminator. Nearly every major iconic franchise from the past has been culturally vandalized by these delusional, degenerate, low-value, low-IQ narcissists that are so desperate to cram their ideology in your face that they are willing to embrace and do just about anything. This is Doctor Who. The show is about Doctor Who and his sidekicks and the adventures they go on. At no point does anyone watching or has ever watched care about whoever these people using these buzzwords to appeal to social media audiences, to pander to modern audiences. Nobody cares. Nobody has ever cared. Nobody will ever care. But after this fad has died, and it deserves to die the most excruciating death, this woke ideology, Doctor Who will live on. People will watch the original episodes. What people are doing is they're self-scrubbing wokeness out of the cultural zeitgeist. The Star Wars prequels never happened. The Ahsoka series on Disney never happened. People are just wiping it out of their own personal canon because it's so shockingly shit. I guarantee that there are very few Doctor Who fans who took the female Doctor seriously, especially after they attempted to retcon the entire legacy of Doctor Who so that the original Doctor was a small black girl who was bald. That was the original Doctor, don't you know? No one's going to believe that or accept that. They've already wiped that from their mind, and you get mocked every time you bring that up. That is because normal people who like this stuff do not buy into wokeness. It is a pervasive and perverted worldview that centers around the delusion and narcissism of the person involved. And their cruelty has no limits because they believe that they can be as mean-spirited, as malicious, as cruel as possible if they're somebody who is trans. So if you're trans, you can be the biggest bully in the world because you have that get out of jail free card. Well, we're oppressed and we're this and we're that. You can be as nasty as you want. You can go on a show that you had no part in helping to create, like Doctor Who, that you didn't help make big, that you, in fact, your mere presence and the things that you're saying are denigrating and decaying the show, the very core of what it is. And you have the goal to sit there and play a character that was written specifically for you to be an obnoxious cunt so that people on the internet can clap like a bunch of fucking brain dead seals. It is absolutely ridiculous. There is no legitimacy to anything that these people believe, to what they put out into the world. They're all toxic as a miasma. They are poison. And I'm going to show you a clip that further illustrates this point. A clip that I believe hammers home the very fundamental nature of who these people are and what they believe, and why you should, on principle, despise their ideas with every fiber of your being. Let's take a brief look at this.
Time and society and culture and taste has moved on, and there's a problem with the Davros of old in that he's a wheelchair user who is evil. And I had problems with that, and a lot of us on the production team had the problems with that, of associating disability with evil.
So ladies and gentlemen, this clip comes from The Critical Drinker. His video on this is fantastic. I definitely recommend you go watch it. But I'm actually going to play that back so that you can listen to that one more time, because I think it's that important that you really truly understand that what this person said he believes and he implements into his work, that they changed one of the greatest villains in Doctor Who from this to this. Why? Well, the context is what he just said. That this character, who is some deformed, weird looking, grotesque alien who's evil, that he was in a wheelchair. And you can't have villains in a wheelchair. That is the context of that clip, and it is so important that you understand this is what these people believe, and they should be shamed and humiliated and ridiculed and exposed every chance you get. You do not give these people an inch, because what they believe is so incredibly disgusting.
About it.
Time and society and culture and taste has moved on, and there's a problem with the Davros of old in that he's a wheelchair user who is evil. And I had problems with that, and a lot of us on the production team had the problems with that, of associating disability with evil.
If that's true, if that guy had a problem with portraying a wheelchair user as a villain, he should have quit. And everyone who agreed with him should have been fired. In fact, he should have been fired. Everyone who believes what he believes should be fired. As a general rule. Anyone who believes that one race of people, or one group of people, or one sexuality can't play another role because they're portrayed in a certain way. You can't be, Donnie Yen can't be an assassin in, John Wick, because that would make all blind people seem, like assassins and evil people. We don't like assassins. Assassins kill people. You can't have him be blind. Do you start to see how patently absurd this whole thing is? It's ludicrous. And the people peddling it are doing so because they think that it makes them look good, but they don't realize it makes them look as bad as possible. Because normal people look at that and they go, what on earth are you talking about? Normal people look at him like he's Moonbeam, like he's crazy, which they should, because that is crazy. It's crazy to look at somebody and say, you can't play that role. It's crazy to look at somebody and say, you playing that role would be a reflection of your entire, what do you want to call it, demographic? People in wheelchairs? You can't have a space alien be evil if they're in a wheelchair. That is so insane. I don't know how this guy got hired. I don't know how people like him get hired. I don't know how their terrible ideas aren't scrubbed at the corporate level. I don't know how there aren't protections in place that would say, okay, you may believe that, but that's insane. That's stupid. This character has been around forever. This is intrinsic to our story. Whatever you may personally believe, no one gives a shit. This is going to cost us time and money. We're not going to do that. We're instead going to do it the way that we have, and if you don't like it, you can leave. That is the correct way to handle a situation like this. Not to get overly emotional, not to go scorched earth on this guy, but simply to let him go if he can't abide by the simple rules. And these corporations need to be doing more to protect their IPs, because there are many people that believe that they have carte blanche to change things that they did not help to originally create. And even if they did, the changes that they're making are not for the benefit of the show or the character. They are for the benefit of themselves and them posting on social media. That is abundantly clear. Wokeness is not about making the best product you can. It's about a bunch of losers who realize they don't matter, and that bothers them to the point that they're willing to throw away any past work that they've done that's actually been good, willing to throw away any goodwill that they have. In the case of Disney, willing to throw away billions of dollars and all this goodwill and all of these IPs, willing to obliterate what made you famous for what? To appease a bunch of losers in their basement who post on these forums that talk about social justice? These people that will never amount to anything? These people who are mostly just impoverished by choice? I'm not going to get a job. I'm not going to work a 9 to 5. These people that have the most toxic, poisonous attitude. These people that not only don't have the money to buy things, but wouldn't buy your stuff because they hate you and everything that you stand for. What don't you corporations understand? The people that you're pandering to, they hate you. They support you in the moment, but at any instance of you not conforming to their mentally ill, degenerate, low IQ, low value worldview, they will turn on you in an instant, and they will not be happy until you're completely gone. At least with the other side, which is normal people, libertarians, conservatives, disaffected liberals, at least with the sanity part of the world, you have people that are willing to at least listen, who demand quality, but are at the bare minimum more reasonable and will buy your stuff. What you did to Star Wars, I will never understand. You had, when you purchased Star Wars, a built-in hardcore audience that would buy any Star Wars figure, that would buy any lightsaber that you put out, would buy any model of any ship, any figurine, any t-shirt, any socks. They'd buy anything. Didn't matter what it is. Didn't matter goofy or stupid. Hell, you could come out with a McDonald's toy and these people would buy the whole lot. And you traded that. You traded the true passionate Doctor Who fans. You traded the true passionate Star Wars fans, Star Trek fans. All these fans, you traded them for nothing. It's like the greatest NFT crypto scam in history. Somebody at this company or at these companies told you that what people want are the most smug, entitled, delusional, cruel people to stand in front of the screen and belittle the characters that they've grown up loving in the middle of a show that they've grown up loving. Who on earth sold you on that idea and you thought it would be a good idea? Who told you that it would be a good idea? Hey, we've got this transgender person. They're black. This would be perfect for the demographics. And we're going to have them on screen. We're going to have them use buzzwords that people despise. Male presenting. You're a male presenting Time Lord. We're going to have that. We're going to put that in there. Who sold you on that? Because that person cost you a fortune. And they cost you time and effort. And they cost you your IP. Now, you had been doing a lot to damage your reputation, but when you brought back David Tennant, people at least turned their head back and said, okay, well, you ditched the female doctor. You ditched the garbage. Maybe, just maybe, they're cleaning this place up. But no, you doubled down. You brought back the old guy and you said, no, this neighborhood has changed. And then you stabbed him right in the back. And we all had to watch. You took characters that we liked and you humiliated them. You emasculated them. And you brought in characters that we don't like, that we don't care about, we don't give a shit about, and gave them the opportunity to shine because the people working behind the scenes are so ideologically possessed that they don't know their ass from a hole in the ground. In fact, the hole full of dirt is probably less dirty than their ass. This is the reality. This is what we're up against. This is what we're dealing with. And we are winning. But it's not going to be easy to cull out all of this ridiculous shit, because there are always going to be these infiltrators, these people that just want to hurt. They want to hurt people. They want to hurt the things that you love. They want to denigrate it, destroy it. They want to use it to get to you. Now, if they can't indoctrinate you to their degenerate, low IQ, low value worldview, then they'll be content in just watching you get upset that they have touched and destroyed something that you've cared about so deeply. Do not underestimate how petty these people are. This is all that they have to live for. The people that are using these buzzwords and making these changes and altering this thing and turning Doctor Who into some girl power, woke feminist girl boss moment, it is nauseating. No one is going to sustainably watch Doctor Who on that. The people who work on the project, they may feel good in the moment, but when they're in the unemployment line, eventually because they've ruined every franchise and no one's watching any of the crap that they're producing, they're not going to be very happy. So at the end of the day, unfortunately, the lesson in this is that nobody wins from wokeness. I don't win when a show like Doctor Who is embarrassed, degraded, and ultimately considered to be dead. And that's what people are saying, almost universally, that this series is dead. I don't win from that. I don't feel good from that. It feels like the slaying of a titan. It feels like something beautiful and magical that was created years ago has been killed. That's what I feel like when I see one of these great franchises be put in the hands of one of these woke amateurs. It doesn't make me happy to watch this fail. Watching Disney's stock plummet and watching them lose their reputation and lose money doesn't make me happy because I grew up on Disney. I want them to do well, but not the way that they're doing it, not how they're doing it. And honestly, they've let too much poison into the host. I don't think there's anything Disney can do to recover, just like I don't think there's anything Doctor Who can do to recover, because the BBC is one of the most disreputable, dishonest pieces of propaganda journalistic broadcasting that I've ever seen. So they are not going to allow substantive, quality, good writing shows if it doesn't meet the message. And unfortunately, that's where we are. Doctor Who, it's a sad ending to a great franchise, a beloved franchise. I would recommend going and watching it, starting at the beginning. It's a great show. Unfortunately, these people have done this to nearly every franchise. And I don't know if there's anything you can do to bring it back, because once you sever that connection, it is very hard to reestablish it. It's very hard. Even with bonds as strong as Star Wars, I don't know that they're going to be able to do it there either. Or if Disney even wants to. Unfortunately, this is what happens when you embrace this ideology that is centered around sin and degeneracy and low IQ, low value behavior. And that's exactly what this is. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's what I have to say about this. I appreciate you watching. I appreciate you supporting the channel. Leave a comment in the section below. Let me know what you think. And I'll see you next time.